Hello everybody, this is Latin Lover News. Well, first of all, I'm going to say the music on the background, I have no rights to it whatsoever. Facebook. Anyways, this is Latin Lover News, and the videos that I posted recently here, um, it was about a week or so, 2 weeks ago. Anyways, Mike Harrington, Lisbeth Ledesma, and the fake pastor of the Church of Prophecy here up north in Roswell, New Mexico. His name is Francisco Orduno. Anyways, Lisbeth and Francisco Orduno keep threatening me and this and that, and I did put up the text and the messages from Francisco Orduno and everything. I even showed the cops y todo. You'll see my videos there where I went to the police station because they said they couldn't make a report unless I made copies of my text where he said that it's none of my business to say what goes on his church. He didn't deny anything, and he said if I go live, quien sabe qué, that he would kill me. Well, he can no longer kill what's already been dead. And like I've said and mentioned before, a lot of you don't know my story. But anyways, it's getting out of hand. I'm going to speak a little bit about it. I was working at Los Cerritos Mexican Kitchen last year. My last day work there was February the 19th of 2019 because they had poisoned me. It was Abel Loya, Marlene, Cynthia, and Jose Luis. I've been working there for a little while, but since the first day that I worked there, Abel Loya always harassed me. He lied too about his wife y todo. I mean, one thing led to another that yes, we did end up having sex y todo. Yes, I was pregnant with this child. He lied to me and I left him right away. Right away. You don't mean nothing to me. That day, the last day that I worked there, when I had cut up 48 bags of chicken, 5-pound chicken in the bags. I had to weigh it y todo. I was like this, chingona pa la cocina, always, always. Anyways, the next day, I was really, really sick. I went to the clinic here in mi casa. Let me turn off the music of this. Anyways, I had gone to mi casita y todo, this clinic, and trying to sit up here how I have my little Mexican flag in the background. I like it. Anyways, I had gone to the clinic here, but next to the health department, mi casa. I saw Dr. Shet, S-H-E-T. And he did run some tests, all this, y la fregada, but they never gave me any documentations or any paperwork of my results of my blood work y todo. There was this guy, this big, tall, white-complected male with curly hair, and to think about it, he had said that he was a counselor, y quien sabe qué, and he made me feel very uncomfortable. He shouldn't have been there. And now that I got my memory back this year, January the 15th, I know who he is. I believe his name is Larry. He's the son of the owners of Dean Baldwin. I remember him. I remember his face. That's him. He's a corrupted one. And he was there in the office in the room where I was as a patient. and just to see what the doctor would say to me. And I remember telling him I was poisoned. I didn't want to say anything to you at the beginning, but this is because nobody would believe me. Nobody believes anything. And if they do, they just hush, hush, shh, shh, shh. And I'm not one to hush, hush. Anyways, I remember how Dr. Shit had seen me. Me miraba, and he was just like with his head down, asina, and, of everything I told him. And I said, you know, this is what happened to me, todo, but no, he wouldn't say a word to me. But anyways, that was on the 20th. Remember, I got poisoned on February the 19th, 2019. On the 20th, I went there. Well, I got sicker and sicker as days passed. I got admitted into the hospital. I went to the hospital. I told my kid's dad, Hector Fernandez, to take me to the doctor. It was February the 24th. Well, I was there in between, 3 days. I got rushed out on the 27th of February of 2019 once Dr. Rideout knew that all my brain was in tweet, and I remember most, but not the most important little details. The most important details of like the whole puzzle. It's like the whole puzzle, for example, there's a whole puzzle that you have to complete, and there's only 5 little pieces, one here, one there, and here. 5 little main pieces, the most important pieces of the puzzle. With this, I'm meaning like my memory was there. I knew that they raped me, they hurt me, but I couldn't remember where it was. I couldn't remember certain things, their faces y todo. Now I have names for all those faces. God gave me my memory back. January the 15th of this year, 2020. But anyways, all last year I was considered incompetent. It's like I wasn't aware of my surroundings. It doesn't mean that I was crazy or I didn't know what I was doing. That's a lie. It's like everything the same. It's just like I'm going to cross the street, for example, of being incompetent. I would cross the street and I would be like, oh, I'm walking, crossing the street, and not like watch out. Oh, is there a car coming before I cross? That's the only thing. I had to be careful of my whereabouts. That was about it. But my mente was always there. In between February the 24th that I was admitted in the hospital and the 27th when I was rushed out by Dr. Rideout all of a sudden, there was a lot of malpractice there with the doctors and everything. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world as we speak. It's so much to say in one setting, but I'm going to start try and get on here at 7 a.m. and at 7 p.m. to catch up because I have so much information that I'm supposed to be putting out and I haven't. I've just gone distracted by other things that of my medical records and everything. I'm working on my own, my own attorney, on my own private investigator. I'm my own protector of myself and my children because these law enforcement don't do crap about it because they're all involved, and I'm getting there. Ahorita I'll explain so you guys won't be confused and say what the hell is she talking about, Pero in the hospital, as I was saying, they do a lot of procedures and surgeries y todo la chingada that patients don't even need. They've gone away with a lot of murders, that I'm going to put a stop to it. I'm a miracle, blessing of God, and He chose me to come back to life, to save us, While I was admitted in the hospital those days, they had me sedated on morphine, a lot of it, against my will. When I went there, I told Dr. Rideout and Serla and, Kishna y todo, I got poisoned, run me tests. They didn't want to even do that. They didn't want to do anything. They just left me there. They weren't doing shit at all. At all. Now, my stomach, when I was in the emergency, they put me into a different room. And in the medical room. Anyways, Dr. Rideout comes in there with Kishna y quien sabe qué más nurses and whatever staff that was there. I was laying on a 45-degree angle on the bed, on the hospital bed. My stomach was inflated way higher than my breast implants were at the time. Anyways, they kept putting shots on my stomach so it could go down y todo because I was poisoned by Abel Loya, Marlene, Cynthia, Jose Luis. His actual lover of his secret life of Abel Loya. And this is one of the reasons that I believe, besides that I work so good, that they wanted me murdered. One day when I was at Olympian Academy, it was rainy that day, todo. The weather wasn't that great. There was hardly any customers coming in and or anything. I remember I asked Tara and Jennifer if I could leave. They said yes, because there was no customers anyways, I wasn't going to miss out on anything. And I needed to work because I needed to make my car payment. And Abel Loya wasn't giving me the hours as promised when I first went there to apply for a job. He had told me that he would give me 40 hours, and I was only getting 23, 28, 30, 32. I wasn't getting the hours that he had promised me. Anyways, I had gone from Olympian Academy straight to Los Cerritos Mexican Kitchen here in Roswell, New Mexico. And as I opened the door from the office, Abel Loya's, whenever the office, you open the door, there's a desk here. His computer's right here in the corner of the walls. His leather chair was always there facing this way as I walk in the office, But when I opened the door, his chair was in the middle of the room, his back towards me, and Cynthia was on top of him having sex with him. As she looks up and sees me, she don't even say a peep. She gets up all sweaty y todo, struggling to put up her pants because she always wore them up so tight up her you-know-what. She was struggling. Anyways, I noticed Abel Loya's head turned like this to look at her, but I guess he didn't pay too much of attention because after she got up and everything, I heard some noises, sucking noises, those noises that you make when things are going on sexually. Well, as I looked down to my right and his right as well, because his back was towards me, so when I looked down towards the right side, on the floor, there was Jose Luis on his knees. At first, when I saw, I was like, what the? I couldn't see the face, but when he got his face up and he turned like this, he was todo mequeado from his boyfriend's secret lover, Abel Loya. And him too, he looks at me with this shock like, oh hell, caught in the act. Anyways, Abel Loya turns like this and like that, and he's like, ¿Qué pasa? And as he was turning like this towards where I was at the door, I just closed the door right away, and I went straight to work. I didn't even ask if I could work. I just went straight to work in my station. I knew already what to do y todo, what was needed to be done. Well, that day, it still took them a few hours to come out of the office because they were probably ashamed and embarrassed, which they don't even know what that is to begin with anyways. Once they got out of the office, I was by the other second little office in the back kitchen area where we work, where my station is, where I prep, cook, y todo. There's these sinks, asina. I was there rinsing something. I can't remember if it was lettuce or I believe so. And Jose Luis comes here to my left side and says, "Yo, Maria," or something like that. And his breath, I was like, oh my God, dear Lord. I just like stopped breathing and turned away from him. You know, you could smell the sexual things he was doing to Eboloya. But anyways, I just like, kept working, went around the sink where I always worked. And there was this guy there, a short Mexican guy. He actually works at La Antigua, because Saul and Mimi's are the owners of Los Cerritos Mexican Kitchen and La Antigua as well. But Saul, he's always at La Antigua Mexican Kitchen. And Mimi's, his wife, the owners of both restaurants, is always at Los Cerritos Mexican Kitchen. Anyways, all this going on is just like, I feel coraje, and I don't even know how to explain my emotions right now. But anyways, I'm going to continue. Anyways, Saul is always at La Antigua, and Mimi's over here at Los Cerritos. And whenever Mimi's like would leave a couple hours, a few hours, or sometimes half the day, you know, because she was always in and out because they run two restaurants and that is a lot of work. Anyways, a lot of things would happen there. They would be in the office snorting lines y esto y el otro, drinking and having sex, things that they weren't even supposed to be doing, you know. But that's none of my worries. The only thing that I can't understand, and they still can't even give me an answer, is why did they do all this to me? Why would they poison me? I believe it's only because I walked in on them, like I was saying and mentioning before. He was probably afraid that I would say anything to anybody, but I wouldn't. But anyways, back to when I went to work on my station y todo. Later,